All right, welcome to another trading analytics video. As you guys can see, today was a very rocky day in the stock market. The Dow Jones was down 1,100 points today. Obviously, investors did not like what Jerome Powell had to say in his press conference. I can pretty much just kind of sum it up for you guys. Essentially, he indicated that there will be less rate cuts next year. The central bank back in September said that there will be 4 quarter point cuts in 2025. Obviously, Jerome Powell, based on his speech today, essentially debunked those statements, basically stating that there will be less cuts next year. The market obviously did not like it. There's huge valuations out there. Lots of names are, have sky high valuations. And so when you hear news like that, right, the market doesn't like it and it's obviously going to correct, right? And essentially, when you have evaluations that are as high as they were, everything needs to be perfect in the market, right? So everything needs to be right on point. So if you're indicating that you're going to have 4 rate cuts next year of 25 basis points, the market wants to hear that that's still in place. Once you kind of take that off of the table, like Jerome Powell did, that's something that the market was not expecting, and it obviously investors got spooked, and obviously we started seeing some de-risking and or profit taking slash selling, right? And so where does that take us today, right? As far as the S&P 500 is concerned, you see we have this major candle here. We indicated in our last video that, we were kind of building out somewhat of a bull flag here. And I mentioned that, again, if this flag was to break out, we could easily start heading towards 614. Obviously, that didn't happen, right? We lost to 20 EMA, and I indicated that 598 would be a major risk level. If we lost 598, that was going to be a huge sign for you to obviously, start taking risk off the table and close out your longs. So we lost 598, and even further than that, guys, we lost 593. So from here, 584 was a major support back. It was literally last month, I believe. We obviously came back down, tested 584, which is a retest of the breakout. And then we obviously had a big move from 584 to the 600s, basically the 608, right? So here we are coming right back down to 584. And so from here, I do believe that, the S&P 500 could have what we call a dead cat bounce. And I do believe that dead cat bounce can take us all the way back to 598. Now, this is where we're going to have to really be careful and understand what's going to happen at the 598 area, because again, that could still yield lower highs, right? And then we obviously can put in a lower low. And in addition to that, again, if we have that lower high here, that would basically look like a head and shoulders as well if we simply get that structure. So I do believe that the S&P 500 is due for a bounce tomorrow. There's obviously no guarantees of that, but that's what I would expect based on the selling that we saw today. Very seldomly do you see 2 major selling days in a row, especially the selling that we saw today. So I would be looking for some kind of bounce on the S&P 500 tomorrow, even if it brings in a lower high. I still believe that a bounce could be worth playing, and obviously I think that there's a pretty good chance of that, as mentioned before. Now, don't just take that as, face value. Obviously, follow price. If we lose 584, then obviously you're going to be looking to fill this gap, right? I'm saying that I expect a bounce assuming we hold 584, right? But if we start losing 584, obviously react, right? There's a good chance we're probably coming down to this 100 EMA, and this 100 EMA also is in conjunction of this gap fill. So at the end of the day, 584 holds. I look for a dead cat bounce, right? And otherwise, if we lose it, you're going to be looking for the next leg lower, which is that gap fill in 100 EMA. So that's the S&P 500. Follow price, and that's my biggest key for tomorrow. On the NASDAQ 100 or QQQ, this one's pretty simple to trade, right? We basically have this channel right here that's very easy to follow. And essentially, we sold off from the top of the channel here and 538, which is also a pretty large resistance on QQQ. We sold down to the lower end of this trend line here. And also, if you look, this trend line, this lower trend line is in conjunction with the retest of the breakout right around the 515. Well, it's like 514, 515 area. And so in my eyes, this is a dip buy on the NASDAQ 100. It's very low risk. You have your trend line support, and you can essentially look for a bounce from here. And, again, if the market really wants to rotate to the upside, you easily can come back up here and test this upper trend line again. However, this is only low risk if you stop out right below this level. So if you start seeing that the NASDAQ 100 starts losing this lower trend line and this retest of this breakout, then that's obviously a sign for you to start de-risking, right? But in my eyes, I believe that this is a very, very nice dip buy on the NASDAQ 100. It is a retest of the breakout. If you look at the S&P 500, it basically retested its breakout already, which I showed you guys here. It basically retested its breakout here in the past. The NASDAQ 100 did not do that, right? The NASDAQ 100 basically was just running up for the most part. But now we're kind of getting back down here and retesting the breakout. So we have the retest of the breakout, the lower end of this downtrend line. And so again, this looks like a good dip buy in my humble opinion. Obviously, this is not financial advice. You'd be doing so at your own risk. But I really like the risk to reward here on the NASDAQ 100. And like I said before, just stop out right below this level. If you start seeing that we're slicing through that 515 area, just stop out, obviously, for a very low loss. Because again, that's the only way it'll be low risk. If you let it free fall and come down here towards this 100 EMA down at 495, then obviously you're going to take a major loss, especially if you're dip buying up here around 515. But again, the risk reward here looks pretty good. I like the dip buy here on the NASDAQ 100, and it's probably something I'll be looking to do tomorrow. All right, last but not least, I want to quickly go over Tesla stock. Tesla has been running up for quite a while, as you can see, for several days, probably going on a week and a half now. It's been running ever since it broke out of this bull flag. So I put in this little channel here, and this channel basically has been keeping Tesla's, run up in place. So as you can see, this is the first time that we kind of fell out of the channel. I know why it happened, but it does raise some concern for me, seeing as though we've been staying inside of this channel for the entire run up. And so this red line that you're seeing going across the screen here, and I'll show you guys in another image where this red line comes from. It's basically a trend line. You can see where it intersects there. And so I had that trend line in place, and I saw that buyers stepped in right around that trend line. Well, basically we wicked right below it, and then buyers stepped in and got it right back over the trend line. So I decided to go long heading into the close. I'm looking for a dead cat bounce towards the 450s. I don't want to get caught in some kind of lower high situation, so I am going to assess tomorrow whether I'm going to take profits on Tesla around that 450s area. We'll find out tomorrow what I do with that in the Discord server. Speaking of this, the Discord server, you can actually join our Discord with the link in the description of this video. I cover names like Tesla all the time. We post levels on Tesla. I always say that nobody trades Tesla like me. I don't want to say that's a fact because I know there's some really good traders out there, some traders who are far better than I am. However, I do believe we do pretty well with Tesla. So link to all of that will be in the description of this video, of course. And in addition to that, guys, we do cover Tesla on the channel pretty extensively, as well as the S&P 500 and QQQ. So you can please like and comment on this video, as well as subscribe to our channel so you guys can continue getting these updates on a daily basis. That being said, guys, I want you guys to have a great rest of your trading week. Be careful out there. Make sure you're managing risk. And yeah, happy trading and happy holidays. Perfect.